First on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first on the agenda, approval of minutes for July 10th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Carlson, second by Commissioner Gaffney. Any questions about it? I know it just it was sort of good to me. I didn't do it real quick.
At first glance, it was fine for me.
So, all those who are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
300, and the minutes are approved. Do you want us to just email one of these?
If you just sign them, yes, I'll take the original.
Thank you.
Public participation, looks like a full crowd out there to hold everyone back real quick. So with that, Brendan, Director of Parks and Recreation report.
Thank you. Hope everyone's enjoying the recent stretch of nice weather that
Yes.
we're having after all that humidity and rain earlier in the summer. So, just gonna give some maintenance items. Our maintenance division is continuing to do their seasonal responsibilities, including daily trash pickup throughout the parks and around town, cleaning the bathrooms on a daily basis at the start of the day at Simons and at Rahanis. They're working on ball fields. We still have some youth baseball and softball, adult softball, and various times we have soccer and lacrosse, so they're still lining fields for those. And then they're also staying caught up on the trimming and mowing, especially after the rainy weeks we've had, trying to get back into a routine, a regular routine that they're typically in the summer at this time. So, and then of course the wading pool, which I feel like this year we've had more wading pool passes go out than ever before. It used to be like this big rush in the beginning of the summer, and then it kind of trailed off. Am I wrong in that, Kelly? I'm looking at you because you did it forever. So.
I think it's more spread out.
Just spread out?
I think you're right. I think we usually have that rush right as summer registration opens in like May. But I think more people are coming in now. I think the heat of June really kind of did it in those hot, humid days in June into July. I think more people are using it.
Yeah. So I'm not crazy.
Not at all.
Just seems like we're doing a dozen of them. It seems like a day. Everyone's coming in asking. So, sorry, get back to maintenance. They've also,
When's the last day of the pool?
August.
August 26th.
Thank you.
So, the maintenance division's also working on behind the visitors bleachers here at Varsity Field. Clearing out, we've had some brush growing up over, and I know that it's always one of those things that, they'd like to, the school department would like to see gone, so we are working on that, and it's been some time, so it's pretty thick brush that's back there. And then currently, we have the schedule for varsity athletics and the preseason practices, the captain's practices, and then preseason sports practices that are starting. So they're working on prepping fields for fall soccer and field hockey, as well as getting the grass fields ready for fall youth sports. And they've also spent a couple days out on the Common prior to Celebrate Burlington, and really The Common looked great. We got lots of compliments on during Celebrate Burlington. We're very fortunate in Burlington to have a beautiful, large town common that families can go out and participate in activities in the middle of the common and feel safe, right? They're not right at the edge of a road. They can, really go out, have a nice evening on the common. The kids can run around, adults can run around, and it's just, we're very fortunate. So our staff did a great job preparing that. And then also, we're getting into our fall field maintenance as far as fertilization. So we're finalizing a plan for the field maintenance program. So in the fall, we do aerating, fertilizing, and we do a couple rounds of overseeding, not knowing what the summer was going to hold as far as weather and rain. Last year, as you know, we got none. This year we're getting tons, but we didn't plan any overseeding early in the summer on the fields that aren't irrigated. So we'll be hitting those first with an overseeding, and then we'll go back late fall and overseed again on those fields and some of the others. But over the next couple weeks, we'll be out there. We're going to fertilize, then we're going to aerate, and then we're going to overseed again. So we'll be getting those treatments out. Couple bike racks have been a big thing. The library is ordering one, as well as the UCC Church had approached us about donating a bike to the basketball court area at Simon. So we picked out a location that's out of the way of any maintenance, plowing, and vehicle traffic. That's by the courts, and they're donating the bike rack. We'll pay for the shipping and for the installation. There's one at the library. We'll install that at the same time. We have a bunch of benches that have been ordered for the common that will be going out as well. So we'll do all that, the concrete pads around the same time. Pickleball and street hockey court resurfacing has gone out. It's on state procurement site. Been getting a number of calls on that for the specs. What we've done is a request for quotations, so we need to receive 3 quotes because of the value of the project. And between yesterday and today, I've received 6 or 8 emails. So I think it's out there. We want the work done this fall, and hopefully we will get a quality company, and at our meeting in September, we'll hopefully be able to come to an agreement and accept the quote that we present and get that work started. As another item from our FY24 capital project list, the outdoor facility master plan. We've been working with the procurement office on the scope of work for the outdoor facilities master plan, and have posted a request for a proposal on the state procurement website. The RFP was published on August 9th, or I'm sorry, it'll be published Monday, the 14th, and proposals will be due back on the 28th. So we had a change in date. Once we receive the proposals, we will work with the procurement office to do a comparative criteria and select the appropriate company. We're asking for things 5+ years of experience doing these plans. Being familiar with the state laws governing open space and recreation plans, as well as recreation plans. So we're not looking for a first-year company. We're going to get someone with some experience to do the plan, with the idea that the plans are completed by the middle of December. So it gives them 3 months. Again, this is something they're due back by the 28th. By the time we meet next, we'll have been able to go through them, and we'll present hopefully a company at that meeting, and we'll move forward with the recreation outdoor Facilities Master Plan.
Mr. Chairman? May I?
Absolutely.
So for this, do you need 3 proposals as well, or?
Yes, so the quotes is 3, the proposal is open
Okay.
for anyone. So if we only get 1, and it meets our criteria, then, we would have 1. But I'm sure there will be, a good amount of interest. There are companies that we were talking with about the plan 2 or 3 years ago when we first, 3 or 4 years ago. So I know they're interested. And we'd like to get rolling on that because 2 of the items in there are significant. One is the conceptual plan for Overlook Park, and we'll be going for a land and water conservation grant in January, right? It's due January of '24, so we'll need that to be able to apply for the grant, as well as the other item was the Simons Park Playground project, and we'd like to get rolling on that as well. That playground is approaching 25 years now, so and it really, it was the centerpiece of the park, but it's getting older and it's harder to repair the items. They're breaking quicker, and they are still making some of the repair, some of the parts to repair them, but at some point, those are going to be on their useful life. So those are 2 important things in there, as well as giving us a document going into the next budget season of potential improvements to our parks and looking at what we can have completed through our capital plan that comes out of that. So, next item, another project is the dog park. The installation of the canine grass at the dog park has been completed. The contractor was Cella Construction, who also built the dog park, and they prepared the area for the new canine grass. A concrete company came in and poured the curb. They came back, Cella came back and graded out the site, and then the canine grass installer came and installed. Looks great. Cella also cleaned up the pathway going down the left side of the park, got all the pea stone off of the stone dust back into the park. We also put I guess for lack of a better term, an apron of stone dust against the curbing where the canine grass was secured to. What was happening on the canine grass in the back section of the park is as people stepped off of it from the pea stone or stepped on from the pea stone, it would push pea stone away, so it created a trip hazard. So I worked with the contractor on what is the, how can we prevent that? Because it's a constant maintenance issue. And having a more solid surface like stone dust, that'll pack in there. So he put an apron around both sections. So we're hoping that that will prevent any kind of trip hazard. The pea stone will migrate up onto it, but it won't create that trip hazard of the curb. Our staff has now gone in there. They were in there today, and I think they'll be in there again one more time this week. We're hoping to open the park again this weekend, but they're going in. The growth behind the fence has really gotten, has started growing into the park. There's a couple dead limbs up above the park that we need to address. We need to get in there with our bucket truck and get, take those down. They're too high for us to reach. But we really want to, bring the park back to as close to brand new as possible. It's 5 years. It's time for that. Going to just move on and give one more item, sorry, before we get to the Assistant Director report. Celebrate Burlington, as you know, was held on Saturday, August 5th on the Common. This year, in honor of Bill Boudreau's passing and his love and dedication for the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department, we put his silhouette and his trademark cowboy hat with him in his trademark cowboy hat on the sleeve of the Celebrate Burlington shirts. We also had a signboard with some of Bill's accomplishments and some photos of Bill there. His daughter Denise and his son Scott attended the event and commented on how much their father loved Burlington and how honored they were to have his silhouette on the shirts. They also said, the event had grown so much from when Bill started as a muscular dystrophy carnival and kind of in the parks, and then brought it to the town common. And last week, in preparation for Celebrate Burlington, I was looking at our 50th anniversary slideshow PowerPoint and looking at some of the pictures of Celebrate Burlington where they would nail up or secure backboards, basically basketball rims, to the light poles for competitions or for events and stuff. And now we have these giant inflatables. And when I started with the department in '99, we had a few inflatables, but there was a lot of still those games, basketball shots, hockey shots, soccer shots, where we were using playground or equipment from our Park Place program, and just how it evolved even in the 10 years I worked with Bill, and then when it was passed off to Kelly as the program coordinator, how she continued with Bill's spirit of adding something a little more each year and making it a little bigger. And now we have these giant inflatables. We have food trucks and all kinds of the businesses are still coming. We have a platinum sponsor in Herb Chambers that we didn't have before. So it really a car show and concert and fireworks at night. So it's really grown. And I'd like to thank all of our staff, our maintenance staff, for preparing the common, being there that day to work the event and do their best to stay on top of the trash cans. They fill up very quickly. And then our program staff for working the event. All of our seasonal staff are working the event. But really, Kelly is still solely responsible for that event going off so smoothly. We had great weather, and Kelly does a lot of planning and organizing of the event. So without her hard work and dedication, the event would not have been as successful. So do want to make sure we recognize Kelly as well, individually, for her efforts with Celebrate Burlington. So done enough talking for now.
I'd just like to comment on what a great job you guys did do. The maintenance staff, you two, your staff. Like I said, I wasn't there long because I wasn't feeling well. But I know how much effort that you guys put into making that a great, successful day. And the comments I've seen on Facebook and through the Burlington Community Residents Network, really was a lot of positive feedback. So you guys should be very happy with what you've done and put out there for the town this year. And, keep doing what you're doing. Celebrate Burlington's probably your biggest. I know it's stressful. I know you pray for good weather.
Always.
But great job.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd also like to say it was great. I spent a couple hours there. Unfortunately, I was chasing after children and, getting food and everything else, but we had such a good time. Like, both of my children are on the older side, but we saw many children there, many adults. Everybody was very happy and had a great, great time. I loved the addition of the food trucks. The axe throwing was a big hit over the dunk tank.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
I wanted to talk to you guys, and I walked by and I'm like, they got axe throwing here. This is awesome. It's like, because I was actually, so Mikey, who works for me, he was looking for the dunk tank. He goes, I want you to be in the dunk tank. I go, Mikey, I'm not going in the dunk tank. So I'm usually walking where you guys put the dunk tank, and I see the axe throwing. I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
good.
That was
Really
a great
good.
addition.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Something for that older
Mm-hmm.
crowd that we don't usually capture, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even for us adults, it was,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
The other big
was a lot
one
of fun, yeah.
is every year is the train. The line for the train from here to the parking lot. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I see all these people waiting, and I'm like, what are these people doing? I see the blow-up next to them, and I go, they ain't, what are they doing? Like, so I walk up to, I'm sorry, I says, what are you guys waiting for? Oh, the train, because the train was going everywhere, you know what I
Right.
mean? But I wasn't really paying attention, I just saw people waiting. So that was good, that was a big success, so.
I would,
Keep getting the train. Train's big.
The train is a staple. It's
Yes.
going nowhere.
yeah.
If I could, I was going to talk about Celebrate Burlington in my report, I thought. So I had a couple of things that I would just like to tag on to what Brendan said. This year, for the first time ever, we did a sensory-friendly event Friday night, the evening before. That was a quieter event for those who might have some sensory concerns, and we did require pre-registration for that. That was a huge success. I applaud Emma and our team for putting that together. That was the first time, and we have struggled with a way that we were able to provide a sensory-friendly option for Celebrate Burlington, and we think we worked with Perfect Parties this year. They donated their staff time to be there to make sure that we could blow up what we could blow up at the time. So a huge shout out to Emma for making that happen. Additionally, we also offered sensory-friendly fireworks at our building. It's something that we have done for the past several years for families who might have members who have some sensory processing disorders or concerns, and we had such success with it. Families would start in the I'm going to call it a vestibule. Is that like where the elevator is at the senior center, that glass area? They would stay there, and then because we do fireworks a couple times a year now, so they would creep out maybe like onto the benches that are right outside or just right outside the door, and they would go in if they had to give them flexibility. So we thought we would open it up to the public. We had some stuff ready to go, coloring sheets, other activities to keep people a little busy. So, we're really trying to add those sensory-friendly pieces where we can. And I think that this year being the first year, it was a really great tribute to the work Emma's done and continues to do for those who have concerns in our community.
Excellent.
So
Yeah,
how
that
many-
is,
Sorry.
oh, go ahead.
How many families did you have attend the sensory-friendly?
So we estimate we probably had at most probably 50 people, 50 to
Wow.
75 people on Friday night. We had 10 families register for the sensory-friendly event, none of which attended. I don't know if something happened or they were just outside and wanted to come inside, like, we're not sure. But our staff was there and ready for
The firework.
the firework
The
party on
firework
Saturday.
portion, yeah.
We capped it at 10 because we were doing it upstairs in room 207, and there's not a ton of room there. But Emma sent me a video of the fireworks from there. The viewing is great. It's quiet inside, obviously. So we'll continue to work to see what we can do for that. But we promoted it week of, right? Like we put it out on a Tuesday for Friday. So we think it's only going to grow from there, and we targeted it to be like a lower number so we could kind of pilot it and see how it would go. So we talked to some families who were there. I talked to some families at Celebrate Burlington who had family members who wanted to attend, and they went down for an hour or 15 minutes, and like it might have been too much or what. But we did try to make it as similar to Celebrate Burlington as we could. We had the inflatables up. Alex Ice Cream came and was selling ice cream on the common without lights or music or any of that, like those kinds of things that you would get at a typical Celebrate Burlington experience. And Emma and I chatted after the event on Friday night, and there are things that we would like to add moving forward to make it more equitable to the full Celebrate Burlington event. So we're excited.
That's
I think
great.
it's going to grow. Yeah.
Great job to you and Emma.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Have we, so you're using the rec, but do you ever think we could use like maybe Mount Hope's building? We get in contact with them and we could use, maybe we get more families up there to watch it from that viewing area, because it's usually at the high school.
Yep.
I mean.
You just need like a big glass, like you need a big glass. I'm not familiar with Mount Hope, but I'm more than happy to like talk with them and see if
I
that's
mean,
an area that would
My
work.
kids went to Mount Hope, but, you know, it used to be the middle, elementary school.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
But they have a big gym there, but I don't know how I think the windows are sort of like how schools are in the cafeteria and stuff.
Yeah, the windows, they're up on that gym. I think they put it,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's something to look
we
at, I
Can definitely,
mean-
we can definitely chat with them and see if it's a better opportunity. We capped it at 10 families because we were afraid of the amount of people. So
Right,
we
so
were
that's-
looking for alternative places, and I was like, well, we have Grandview, right? Like, each family could stand at a window and like, but that's not really ideal as far as like wanting, like, the closeness of things, and like, it's a little too
Yeah, 'cause
tight.
Mount Hope overlooks the high school fields. So that's, I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
No, yeah, we'll
Just
definitely
because,
take
you know,
a
I'm
peek.
sure they would like, yeah, no problem, use it. But I know that, you know, the sight lines are really good there.
Yeah, I'll check it out, for sure.
But they light them off in the field,
Yep.
off to the right, yeah.
Yeah, the old softball field
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Yep.
But excellent job by all you guys. Great idea on the Century part of it. Just makes sense, and that's why our rec department is awesome. All right, here we go. That's what I think.
I'm just going to jump back in. So
Yeah,
Kelly,
go ahead.
you know, I know we had axe throwing and stuff, and that was awesome. But my favorite addition this year,
The pig.
no, the pig was good. Pig was good. We had a couple pigs.
Yep.
Were the hippity hop things? Did you see that?
Oh, I saw
Right?
those, yeah.
Very simple, and the kids had a blast.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Racing each other down. Our
Okay.
staff was like, got into it, right, and encouraging them and stuff. Not something that, you see, we used to have the round hippity hops, right? And they started with just a round circle, and then some of them had heads and stuff. But these were awesome. So very simple, and it provided myself hours of enjoyment, right? To see the lines there and the smiles and the laughing, and it was great. So, and that's what Celebrate Burlington should be all about, right? Is smiles, having a good time, families out enjoying themselves,
Yeah.
so.
No, that's good.
But yeah, it was a simple one. The axe throwing was good. I watched, like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, something like that, 10-year-old probably, throwing axes over her head, like perfect, right? And the adult in the stall next to him throwing and like couldn't get it to stick. And I'm like watching it with my family, like, look at this, like just hitting everyone almost on center, sticking the first time. It was pretty good. So I did not attempt the axe throwing. I don't know if anyone here did. No.
I didn't, but I looked, there was a guy in there when I was walking by, and he was like ultra focused, like he was like all in on it. And he's like all lined up, and well, he was, but I was just more mesmerized having the axe drawn, because I didn't know that it was gonna be there, so that was sort of cool.
It was an awesome set.
We also, this year, we had a videographer and a photographer on site, so as those start to trickle back in, you'll see us posting online. We got some photos, I think 10, I think our contract was for 10 the day after the event, which went up. But the photographer used to work for us. She's starting her own photography business, so we're excited for that. I've seen the video, the promo video. It's probably about a 2-minute video. It's amazing. It's so fun to see. We had one done a couple years ago. McElroy Films. I can never say that right. They put one together for us. This one is equally as good, and it features more of the current, like the axe throwing is in there, the pony hops are in there, like those things that we didn't necessarily have to. There's featured on the food truck, and we did a number of things different this year, which I think lent well to the event itself. So excited for that.
Excellent. One other thing, just to go back to Brendan, Bill and his staff. I know the summer's been crazy with the rain and all that, but they've kept up with all the lawn mowing, you know, in between everything, and the town common looked good, so make sure you tell him and his staff,
I will.
great job this summer.
I will.
All right, thank you. So, that said, we will go, so you,
And I was
that-
going to talk about Celebrate Burlington as part of my report. I have two other things to talk about.
Sure, go ahead, Kel.
So I first want to apologize for not giving you my report. I don't have it printed, or last week
fine.
was a busy week. I'm sorry. The first thing I wanted to chat about was it's midsummer for our summer programming. So last week was midsummer. We typically at that point have a midsummer directors meeting. We talk about recharging, how we re-energize our staff. So we had Patrick Conley from formerly the Connecticut Camp Guys. He went out on his own, but he was there at orientation and met with all of our staff. So he came in and did an inclusion training for our inclusion staff to talk about just give them some more energy and remind them why their work is important. And then he also stayed and chatted with our directors for a while. And then we gave a presentation to our directors about what we see going on, what's good, what we need to work on, those kinds of things. So that happened last week as well, amongst everything else that was happening last week. So we always like to do that specific check-in with our directors to kind of give them that boost, but also so they lend that boost to their staff too. And like, hey, we just learned about this, or we just chatted about this. The midsummer, how we fight the midsummer slump, that's one of the ways. So we think that went really well. Our admin team is meeting with directors weekly, chatting about programming, talking about where we need to make some changes or adjustments, and adjusting program staff or providing some training as needed, as they see fit throughout the summer. So I wanted to just give them some kudos for that. They worked hard putting that together for our team. And then the second thing I wanted to chat about was the Hall of Fame. So in my last report, I said that we had identified 4 people for the Hall of Fame. We have not been able to get a hold of 2 of them at this point, so I don't want to release that publicly yet. But at Celebrate Burlington, we did have Steve Nugent on site, and he had a plaque. We provided a little plaque for him. He will be inducted as a partnering organization for us. And Leahy Health, also Beth Israel Leahy Health, sorry, let's forget that, was also on site. They were a 2019 inductee, so we made them a little plaque too, so they could have that on their tables at the event. But so Steve Nugent will be inducted. In addition to that, we are inducting Herb Chambers' family of dealerships for their partnership over the last 10, 12 years as a platinum sponsor at Celebrate Burlington. So we would love to do that in October at the October meeting. So I would love to get an October date as soon as we possibly can, so that we can release that to people and formally invite them to the meeting.
Yeah.
The information that they received said the October meeting of the Recreation Commission, right? But if I could give them a date and they can get it on their calendars, I think that would be helpful as well. And the plan is to notify the other 2 inductees as soon as possible. We haven't connected. And as soon as we do, I'm more than happy to release that information as well.
Excellent. Great. 2 good choices. Very good.
Thank
Can I
you.
just,
Go ahead.
Kelly, I just want
Yeah.
to say the summer staff is amazing.
Oh,
They are so good. And you mentioned the midsummer slump, and you just don't see that when you drop the kids off, and they're all excited and everything. And even the summer staff at Celebrate Burlington, everybody is so enthusiastic, and how they know every kid from years ago and everything else. They're just a great group of, I wouldn't say kids because they're all older, but they're just a great group of individuals. And
that.
they do such a good job.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for saying that. We'll
Yeah.
pass that along to them for sure. They're doing a great job. And
are.
sometimes in the heat of the summer, you miss it, right? We try to tell them as often as we can and as many different ways as we can, but hearing from community members is always really impactful. So I will let them know.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, yeah, I'd second that. I have the opportunity to go down there and where I play a little pickleball sometimes during the day, and it's the enthusiasm, particularly midday in the hot summer. Both staff and the kids seem to be having a great time over this. So congratulations to
Awesome.
to
I
you
will
folks.
also,
Thank you.
yeah, we'll let them know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Any more questions for Kelly? Kelly, good job. Chairman's report, I really don't have anything. Status quo summer, just like what I said, you guys doing a good job, keep it up. Anything else on subcommittees?
No.
No. Brendan, new business.
Yes, thank you. So everyone received a revolving account report. This one's always tricky this time of year because we're ending a fiscal year. We're getting into our busiest time with the largest amount of people and a smaller amount of programs. So we're a little bit off of what we'd like to be by a week or two. But our revolving account as of June 30th had a balance of $468,036.09, of which $53,429.41 is reserved for programs, leaving $21,118.37 in unreserved funds. So, Lindsay, I don't know if you're familiar, Bill, I think we've had revolving reports before, but the money we take in for programs, field permits, things like that, is then used to pay for programs, pay for some maintenance on the athletic fields, lights, things like that, through fees. They go to those items. And then what's left at the end is unreserved. We then go through and there's certain projects, and we have a list of projects that you see. Some have been in there for a little while, and as we get to the project and we start taking out, it comes out. If there's anything left at the end, that becomes unreserved, and we'll go back in for another project we put back into the revolving account. At the end of the fiscal year, we're allowed to have up to $10,000 in unreserved. So usually we have, requests come through. So I have a couple requests tonight, but if anyone has any questions on the report before we go into requests. In the current reserve funds on the report in the green, those are funds that we're holding to still pay expenses for the programs. Expenses in some staff salaries, correct? Are in there, some of the programs.
Where are we on the disc golf, by the way, as far
Very slow on the disc golf.
are they-
So we need to start building some of the tee boxes. We've gone through and put stakes in the ground where the new ones will go. I've heard some of them have been snapped or removed, so we'll have to go through again. But it's something we need to pick up on this fall, because we do want to make those improvements to that course and get it going. So I've been told our staff is going to do the tee boxes. Our maintenance staff will create those. So we have a materials list pattern that comes out to, I think, a 5x8 or 6x8, 5x8, I believe, with a specific size concrete paver, and we'll build the base, and then put barometric sand in there because the ants don't like, for whatever reason, they don't like that sand, but regular, I don't want to say playground sand, but sand that you can buy in the bags. They like to make homes out of that, but the other sand is coated and they don't like that. So, but we really need to create those this fall. So, been a little slow at getting to them.
Okay. No, Bill just asked me right before the meeting.
No, it's fair. I mean, we've
No,
been
it's a fair
we've
question.
been
I mean,
we've
we
been
brought it
slow.
up multiple times, so.
Yeah.
And like, you can see where some of the holes are, they need a lot of work, so.
Yes.
So, yeah, come fall.
Yeah, I don't think it'll improve my game, but, appreciate it. I hit so many trees this past weekend.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah.
So, any other questions on the revolving account? And then, Brendan, you can do your recommendations if you want to. I have no more questions.
No,
No.
it's not-
Okay. All right. The first item is the National Recreation and Park Association Conference. This year, the conference, the NRPA conference, will be held in Dallas, Texas, from October 9th through the 13th. This is the premier professional development opportunity for our staff to get an inside look on the latest products and services in the interactive exhibit hall. And it is very interactive and large. We connect with our colleagues, not only in New England, but across the country, and then get a chance to talk with experts in the field and to hear from people who, in the field, and then have access to hundreds, if not close to 1,000 CEU sessions over the 4 days. So the NRPA conference is an opportunity to hear from people across the country who experience the same challenges we do, just in different areas. And it's finding actionable items and solutions that we can put to use in Burlington through those conversations, CU sessions. So I'm requesting the commission vote to approve $7,500 from the revolving account to send Kelly Lehman, Emma Jones, and myself to the 2023 NRPA conference in Dallas, Texas.
So, can I have a motion for the commission to vote to approve $7,500 from the revolving account to send our staff to the 2023 NRPA conference in Dallas, Texas?
Motion.
Seconded.
So motion and second. Any questions? I think it's a good thing. Why? Because we want to make our staff better and better. We have the money, and the more you guys learn, the better off the town of Burlington's going to be. That's my personal opinion. So I'm for it. So that looks good. All those in favor? Aye. 300. Good job. Anything else?
No, thank you very much. We won't disappoint. I know in past years, we have presented at the national conference. This year, Emma, as a top 30 under 30, it's important for her to go. She did an article, or has an article that she has to.
She will be doing an article.
Will be doing an article. That's right, this summer. I think she put it on hold, right, for the summer?
Yeah, so it was due end of July, but I think she's pushed it to the end of August. So she'll be published.
As
in
part of the
NRPA.
30 under 30, so,
Great.
yeah. And, in other years, other staff may go, it's just this year, this is how it shook out. So thank you very much, we appreciate it. Celebrate Burlington accommodations, so the planning for Celebrate Burlington, as we've discussed, is a process that goes on all year. In the weeks leading up to the event, our Assistant Director, Kelly Lehman, puts in a tremendous amount of time organizing supplies, and games and scheduling staff, answering phone calls and emails, dealing with last-minute requests from staff and vendors, and adjusting the event layout constantly, maybe multiple times even in the last week. So during that week prior to the event, Kelly puts in regular 12-plus hour shifts. She does live a distance away, and so for a number of years has spent her own money to stay locally at a hotel. Last year, we approved, or the commission approved her expense of a hotel for 5 nights. This year, it looks like it was 4 nights, and I would like to request the commission consider paying for Kelly's hotel stay in the amount of $640.05 for the 4 days she stayed in town while working on Celebrate Burlington.
So can I have a motion for $640.05 for 4 days of stay in a hotel for Kelly Lehman, our Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation, for a stay getting ready for Celebrate Burlington?
Motion.
Second?
Motion's and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 300. Motion passed.
Okay.
A nickel was a tough one on this.
And she does her shopping, too.
I know.
She gets a good,
Thank
she
you.
No,
gets a good rate,
Yeah, it's
so
good, yeah.
thank you.
Very good. She works hard.
And then, this is not a revolving account, but I do have another new business item. So the Simons Trust warrant article, the second reading for September town meeting, just need a vote. So the second reading of the will of Marshall Simons is our only warrant article for September town meeting. I would like to request a vote of the commission to accept from the trustees under the will of Marshall Simons, the amount of $74,907.15 to be used for programs and special events and projects at Simons Park.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 300. Oh, I forgot to say aye. I said aye. That stinks only giving us, no, that's good, that's
Right.
awesome,
Yeah.
74,907.
So we're
They're awesome.
working on a project list for them.
Okay.
We have some ideas, some things that we put on hold while they did the 2 years for the treehouse.
Yeah.
So we have some improvements and some programs. They really like to fund, special events. We hold a lot of activities at the park. So those are in there. And then obviously our initiative with having the therapeutic recreation services, in a modular space at Simons for the summer has been a huge hit for the last 5 years, 6 years. So much so that the schools, now we talked about it, I think, in our June meeting, have a modular space there so they can provide extended school year services to participants, and they can still participate in the program.
Yeah, great.
So it's been successful, and we appreciate the schools, working with us on that, and I think it's been beneficial for the schools as well
100%.
as the participants, so.
Additionally, the trust also pays for scholarships given for programs within the park themselves. Annually, we give about $20,000 in scholarships for our programs across the board. So the help that the trust gives us is usually around 5 to 7 of that to help reimburse the revenue loss
Great.
for scholarships.
Excellent. Any old business, Brendan?
The only item I know BYSA had a conversation, their July meeting was canceled. They just had a meeting the other night. They discussed the lights, they had some questions, I've answered them. I haven't, connected with them again to see what their decision is. So I'm guessing that'll be an item at our September meeting, so I'll be, working, once they tell me, yes, we want to go through with it, you guys will be notified prior to the meeting and the report, but I'll work with the trustees as well to let them know this is what, if it's approved by our rec commission, do you see any issues with it? I got them a quote for solar light towers. I think one of their concerns is, how much light will be there, and if it turns out that there isn't enough light to light the fields the way they want, can they go back to Marvin Field, which is where they used to hold it? As long as we don't have a program there, that answer is yes. But youth soccer has been, we've had a good relationship always, but it's, been really good the last couple of years, and, them contributing to field maintenance and purchasing new goals, things like that has been, it's been very beneficial,
Great.
so.
So based on our next meeting, 'cause I don't know when they're going to have to start using these lights, if we have to do a virtual meeting to approve this or something? I don't know.
Yeah, well, we need a, you know,
Quick
there'd
meeting.
probably be a discussion on it as well. But I'm thinking mid-September is when, you know, they might really realize it. But they're looking to use MITRE as well, and we don't really have a lot of fall use on MITRE, if any. So being able to spread out to Mary Cummings, MITRE, and not having to rely on just Francis Wyman and Upper Rohannes in Wildwood, you know, being able to spread out, they'll get more teams out there, so the need for lights earlier in September hopefully won't be there. It'll be once they get to later September. And they can really spread out on 2 soccer fields, really, or what's up at, you know, 2 smaller ones at Mary Cummings. They can spread out on those rather than being kind of cramped into Marvin, like they used to be, you know, 2 really small fields at Marvin.
Yep.
So now they can play in 2 larger fields. So I think it'll work out. They just had some, you know, had to get some of their questions answered and make sure everyone's on the same page.
Okay.
But yes, a September meeting date is going to be key, as well as the October meeting.
Any need for an executive session?
No.
Okay. So what are we thinking for our next meeting? Probably
We have-
September.
September 4th is Labor Day,
Yeah.
so
Probably after, obviously. after
the
that.
11th, I would, you know, as soon as possible after that.
Where's my calendar? Where's my calendar? Can't find my calendar on everything. You guys want to do Thursdays, Mondays? What-
Thursdays is planning board.
Yeah,
first.
so Mondays is our traditional spot. It works.
Yeah, I like Mondays. That's
So we'd be looking at September 11th for the first Monday that we could do.
Do I get something going on September 11th, for September 11th? I'm trying to think.
And Tuesday is school committee.
Yeah,
Right.
no, that should work. I think that what I have going on is early in the morning. I'm just,
So you want to go with September 11th now? Everyone check their schedule, and
yeah.
if we had to have a backup, will we look at like September 13th, that Wednesday?
Yeah, that would be the only 2 days, really. So let's plan on September 11th at 6 o'clock here.
Okay. With a backup of the 13th?
Yeah,
Okay.
Does that work, everyone over there? Bill?
yeah.
Okay. And then,
And then, can we come up with a tentative date for October? The first one in October for
October 2nd.
October 2nd so we can let the people know for the
Right.
Hall of Fame.
Yep,
So October 2nd?
yep. Does that work for people?
Yeah.
Yep.
When's the September town meeting?
Is the 25th.
Okay, good, all right. Just
Yep.
wanted to make sure we weren't going to conflict with that.
25th.
Okay, so those 2 dates, that work, and then, you know, just send out an email, Brendan,
Yeah,
so the other commissioners that aren't here will know the dates. Anything else? Any more questions? Motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Seconded?
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
300. Motion.